Greetings, Geechlings. Geechin Prime here with my review of One Piece Chapter 881, A Wave Room, which, that title was a little meh. Because, I mean, first Jinbei mentions it as a green room, which is kind of confusing unless you think of, like, old world terminology of the Great Green Sea and all that stuff. Because the sea looks green, I guess, because of algae. But, yeah, starts off, you've got Sai and, Baby Five. They're having their wedding. I assume that's probably the last of their little arc. So, who knows who's going to be next? It could be, what was the name of the giant? Haruden. Yeah, that was it. Haruden. Or, dang, I forget who was actually. Ooh, we could get the dwarves. That would be interesting, but enough time with that. There could be millions of theories on the web of who would be next. But anyway, 3 major parts in this chapter. Well, I say 3 as one was kind of meh. But you have probably the best part of the chapter was the first half, about the first 10 pages or so. You have Jinbei, and yeah, if he's not the helmsman by this chapter, nothing is going to, confirm anything to anybody. Am I right? You have, he wants, the tidal waves coming in still. Big Mom's gone crazy. She wants to sink the ship, which Perospero on her hat's like, Mama, you'll destroy the cake. Some people were like, why is he pretending like, doesn't he remember the cake being made? He doesn't know anything about that, so I don't know why people were thinking that. How I view it is that he's kind of becoming the mask. He's believing his own lie to some extent, maybe. He's like Pudding. That, and it's also to save his own skin. So that's probably it. So it's like a 60 saving my life, 40 becomes the mask. But Jinbei he's the man with the plan and hand on the helm, because he was like, okay, I need you to tie these ropes on here. And Nami's like, what the hell are you doing? And you got Chopper, Carrot, and Brook up on the sails, tying on ropes, and then he's holding on to the ropes, and I think he had a hand on the helm, but I'm not sure. But it made it sound like it was just the sails, and Nami's like, what are you going to steer the ship with the sails, and why are we heading towards the wave? And he explains the green room, which is a pipeline in surfer terminology. The wave crash, or the crest crashes, and then it kind of makes a tunnel for a very short time. He described it as that fishermen children play in them all the time. So he probably did as a child as well, which means he has a lot of experience with them. And they make it through, and he describes it as, with a good navigator, a good ship, and a good helmsman, we're invincible. Which, yeah, helmsman came up a lot in this chapter. So, yeah, if that's not his position, what could it be? Other than, oh, I'm the lifeguard of the idiot Straw Hats because they keep falling in the water. I don't think that's going to be that. That might be a secondary role in a combat specialist, maybe. But anyway, he could actually teach some fisherman karate to people. Anybody could use it. Koala used it, so people don't have to be fishermen. And it would improve it. Ooh, Chopper. Oh, if he learned it. He's like one of the weaker Straw Hats. Yeah. So, helmsman and Jinbei, basically. Then the second part is mostly just what we've seen before now. You got the Charlotte siblings. they're all talking about like the mirror, and it's like, oh, but the boat doesn't look sunk, and Perospero is reporting that it was sunk. It's because like the ship went that way and he's looking that way, so it's like, how would he notice? From the top of a giant wave, I guess he would have a viewpoint, but maybe not. And he's reporting that it had sunk, and they're like, which turns out the two long-necked siblings, they're like cheese. That's what their names are based on. So you got the cheese siblings, which then kind of blew my theory that they're related to Amande, because she is a minister, and I don't know if ministers are outside of the family, but we don't know if her last name is Charlotte or not, so could be. Who knows? But, thought I had a burp there. I'm all burpy. I'm a disgusting mess. But, mostly it's just strategy, planning on the Straw Hat side of things. Because Luffy had grabbed a shard, he's talking to Nami in the last chapter, and all that, and then it's like, okay, just destroy all the mirrors and you'll be fine. And they're like, but you won't be able to get back. And it's like, it doesn't matter, I'll find a way. And then it kind of leaves off, Nami's telling him, is just find one that takes you to Chocolate Island, so he has an idea. How would he know which one was Chocolate Island? I mean, he's only been there like half a day, and that was a couple days ago. And if he's looking at the wrong part that he's never been in, how would he know? If he saw Sanji or Pudding, maybe. But the chances that, I guess, are high for Oda's conveniency. Or convenience. Not conveniency, that's not a word, is it? I'm being stupid. But, so yeah, he's doing that, and then I didn't notice it the first time I read it, and after I watched some other people's live reaction, they mentioned that he actually ate a piece of the shard of the mirror, and that's why he grabbed onto his mouth, partially because so that he wouldn't alert that he was having the shit kicked out of him by Katakuri. And I mean, he had like Willow Mochi, which I think is his first named attack. So that was interesting. It's like kind of what he was doing with Jet Gatling or Hawk Gatling before. So not that big of a difference from Luffy's attacks, or his modified versions of the attacks, I guess you could say. But yeah, he does that, and Brûlé and the cheese siblings are just like, the mirror hasn't broken, and then eventually it does break, and then they're like, oh, well, the pressure from the ocean. So they're completely out of the loop on that, which you would think that would have been more obvious. But then it's just Nami on the other side smashing the mirror. So, which I was thinking, if they happened to notice it, and if they didn't know the ship had been sunk, if they had like done like little fire darts or something through the little shards, that would have been funny. But so yeah, that was basically the middle half, or middle portion. Final bit is that we didn't really get much to do with Luffy and Katakuri. I mean, I was expecting a little more of a fight, because last week wasn't that much. It was more of just Katakuri launching another attack. That was kind of boring. This was kind of boring. So really, the big part was that first part, and that was it. And that's why I gave the chapter 3.5. I almost want to give it a 3 after reliving it through live reactions and stuff and rereading it a couple more times. It's like, yeah, a little too much rehash. So yes, I'm just going to drop this down to a 3. I kind of feel bad for it, but it's what it is, and we're on break, and that's fine. Oda deserves at least one a month, as he typically seems to do. If it keeps him going, and eventually we can see the end of the series before the poor man dies from overworking or something, the better for all, right? he might actually get to see the end of his own creation this way. So I'm fine with breaks. That, and it was probably coming up anyway, so, you know. But anyway, overall it was okay chapter, but it definitely starts to dwindle after the whole Helmsman Jimbei moments. So, yeah. That's about it. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Quiche Lings, roll out.